Now, for those of you who know my work, you know that I have a company known as the Mastery Group, which questions how good you want to be. And it's focused on really helping individuals master different areas of their life. So I'm deeply passionate about personal and professional development, especially for those who are working professionals or self-starters trying to build something meaningful for themselves. Now, again, not just for themselves, it's also for the communities that they serve. And so quite naturally, I delve into spaces such as positive psychology, amongst many other stuff. Now, positive psychology has really developed from humanistic psychology, which was heavily influenced by the likes of Abraham Maslow, Carl Rogers, and a few other individuals as well. Now, of course, many of you know who Abraham Maslow is. He developed the hierarchy of needs, talking about 5 different elements that effectively help us become self-actualized as individuals. Now, if you look into his deeper work, you'll see that actually there were 8 different levels and transcendence was the highest level, so to speak. But needless to say, some work has been done to really delve deep into that level of self-actualization, or you could argue transcendence, so to speak. So back in 1998, Dr. Martin Seligman, who is incoming as the president for the Psychological Association, came with an address to basically say, we need to focus less on mental ill health and a bit more on positive regard, or so to speak, really seeing how people can flourish. And this word flourish has become a big thing within the positive psychology community. How does one flourish and how does the community flourish? There had been critics saying that it had been too individualistic, but he argues and his community says, no, actually, this is a individual and community thing. And so he developed this well-being theory, which is based around this idea of PERMA, P-E-R-M-A. It stands for positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. So again, I'm going to break down some of these things to really get you to understand what PERMA is. Now, again, PERMA as well-being theory has been responsible, as seen in many different studies, for helping improve vitality, job satisfaction, and all-round well-being, so to speak. So these are really important factors to help you become, or what I say, create more happier moments, so to speak. And again, you can use this within the workspace. You can use this in your business. You can use this in your family space, but this is a holistic framework that can help you flourish as an individual. Now, before I get into the factors, I just want to define what flourish is based on Google's definition. So flourish is defined as grow or develop in a healthy or vigorous way, especially as the result of a particularly congenial environment. And so really that can only be a positive thing. And so without further ado, I want to get into the first factor, which is positive emotions. Now again, if you have positive emotion, this naturally is going to affect the way you think and feel. And these two things, especially your feelings, help you make decisions in your life. And so increasing your positive emotions really has an effect on how you make decisions based on the choices that you're faced with. It also helps you manage your certain level of resilience. And so with that in mind, looking at positive emotions such as hope, joy, pride, and all these different things, you are more likely going to live a more holistic, well-rounded life that improves and boosts your well-being. And the question is, how do you increase your positive emotions? Well, there's a number of ways you can do this. One of the ways you can do this is spend more time with people that you love and care about. This could be friends and family members. You're probably going to be doing things that either make you laugh, or really drive emotion, watch movies, play games, all of these different things. I love to play different board games and activities when it comes to my cousins and friends and all that kind of stuff there. I love to have a good time. And so with that in mind, when you spend more time with a certain circle of people, you are going to foster more positive emotion. Again, hobbies. Are there certain activities that you like doing that, again, generates a certain feeling? So it's thinking about doing activities and behaviors that elicit an expression, an emotion, a feeling that, again, gives you positive emotions. There's also listening to inspirational and uplifting materials such as podcasts, YouTube videos, music. Music's a great one, whether it's spoken word or not. These are all things that trigger and invoke feelings in us. And again, if you can habituate yourself in these different spaces, you're more likely going to create a rhythm of positive emotions that are expressed. Now, of course, you can't always have positive emotion. And this is where the hedonic treadmill comes into play, where it really talks about how we go through a wave of happiness, so to speak. Okay, you can go up and down, but there's always a base point of happiness that we have. But again, I believe if you have the right habits, you can possibly increase that base to some way, shape or form. It may take some work, but again, these things can help you. Another great way is using things like journaling or a gratitude journal to really highlight what you're grateful for in life. Or again, similar to what my friend is developing, highlighting what sort of wins you've had in your life, looking at your accomplishments. So again, these are all things that you can do to increase your positive emotions. The next thing is engagement. And really this is a disguised word for flow state. Okay, so really Dr. Martin Seligman talks about this whole idea of being in a state of flow. And of course, there's been so much work that's been done on flow. And essentially flow state is being able to achieve a task or do an activity whilst being in a present moment. It's almost as if the task is effortless, but you're delivering a certain level of excellence. And I start thinking of tennis players or football players or people within the sports who glide across the grass or who are able to catch or jump or throw something or kick something with such finesse that, and it's so ingrained in them that it's almost like it's magic. Okay, they've put in those 10,000 hours, so to speak, that Malcolm Gladwell talks about in his book. And so with that in mind, in order for you to reach flow state, there has to be a balance. There needs to be a balance between having the right level of high skill, so to speak, and the right level of challenge in order to you to get to a state of flow. And so when thinking about flow state, here are some things that you could potentially do. The first thing is to do things that you're good at. Okay, so the science has shown that if you focus on your strengths, you're more likely going to enjoy doing those things because, again, you're not going to be beating yourself up about it because you're not good at something. So maybe do a strengths finder test and try to find what potentially you're good at based on, let's say, for example, a test or what other people have told you, using tools such as the Johari window as an example. And so with that in mind, if you're focusing on your strengths, you're really fine-tuning those muscles. Now, I'm not saying disregard things that you're weak on, but maybe you can delegate those things or automate those things or really find other people who can do those things for you if you can, if it's within your gift. The other thing is to really do things that you really enjoy doing, okay? As they say, work on your passion, so to speak. Is there anything that sets your heart on fire? Not literally, of course, but really gives you a feeling of, wow, I really want to do this stuff. Is there anything you can truly get lost in? Because there is a greater meaning, there's a greater force, there is something that draws you to that thing that enables you to want to do that very thing. So find things you can get lost in, so to speak, in a positive way. Is there ways you can be more present? And so this may come down to, again, what I said before, journaling as an example. This could be exercising, okay? Exercising is a great way to be present because you need to focus on what you're doing. And in many ways, doing things helps you become more present. There is also being in nature. I remember when I went to Morocco and I was in nature and I was looking up at the stars and I got so in awe of what the universe was about. I know this seems a bit kind of like, okay, but at the same time, I got lost in that space because it was one of the few moments where I felt truly connected and present in that moment. So these are all different ways in which you can become more present and get to a sense of flow state. I think another thing I'll add is if you can practice an art again and again and again, following, let's say, for example, the laws of trying to be a master. So again, I think there's the book Mastery by Robert Greene who talks about this stuff. When you really develop those muscles, you're more likely going to develop that skill and you'll be ready to really approach or attack that level of challenge so you can get to the state of unique mastery. Quick question. Before the end of this video, let me know which one of these factors you love most. In addition, if you're wondering how you can better understand how you can be a high performer, especially within this space, so that you can reach this high state of PERMA, then maybe you want to check out the quiz that I've put together below that helps you identify what type of high performing individual you are. So if you're interested in this, make sure you click the link below and check it out for yourself. The next factor to talk about is relationships. So this is not just relationships, so to speak. This is positive relationships that allow you to feel loved, supported, and valued. Again, as human beings, we want to connect to souls, to individuals. We want to have deep relationships that make us feel those different ways. And so it's about creating a sense of community. It's about creating a sense of belonging. It's about allowing you to feel valued so that, again, you get these feelings of positive emotions and everything else that is surrounded around improving your state of well-being. And so in order for you to do this, again, there are a number of different things that you can do. Now, studies have shown that in older generations, when they've been able to keep certain connections or relationships, it contributed to a decline in cognition, and it also contributed to factors in physical health as well. Again, these people reported to be more satisfied with life. Again, it's also important to note that if you are around a group of people who are your loved ones, friends, family members, etc., then be enthusiastic around them. Show a certain level of energy or want. Share your wins with each other. Really talk about deeper things. And again, that really glues and solidifies the bond between you and that other individual. But again, if you're keeping things short and you don't necessarily communicate and all these different things there, then you're less likely going to have the relationships that foster an improvement in your well-being. Here are some ways in which you can improve your positive relationships. So one of the first things you can do is try to deepen your current relationships with people at the moment. Again, sometimes we expect the other person to contact us and we're not going to contact them and all this kind of stuff there. But if you remove yourself from that friendship politics and you reach out to that person, maybe it's time to catch up and really see how they're doing. The second thing is to join different classes or communities or groups. Are there things that you're interested in where you can meet other like-minded individuals and form new relationships? Again, usually they say that you make most of your friends at work after a certain age, whether this is after 25 or 30, who knows? But again, you can look outside of that space. You don't have to be a statistic. So feel free to do those different things there. Another thing you could do is form deeper relationships with acquaintances that you may have. So really get to know these individuals. Find out a bit about their history. Find out about what they love doing. Find out about their ambitions and goals. These are all things that can really help to allow a relationship to flourish. And of course, if you're utilizing key coaching skills like deep listening, empowering and effective questions, summarizing feedback, and inner supervision, you're more likely going to connect the glue. Another thing to highlight is to ask questions about your current friends. The other day, my friends asked me a question that was pretty personal, but I was okay with, about, my family life and all of these different things. And I don't have many friends asking me those different questions, but I was happy to share that information because, again, it deepens our relationship as friends because it creates insights, it creates relatability, and it creates a set of uniqueness that they place upon you as well. The next factor is meaning. If you can do things where it improves your sense of meaning and purpose in life, then again, this will contribute to your well-being. Again, studies have shown that for those individuals who have a sense of meaning and purpose, they live longer. I'm definitely going to continue to have my sense of purpose to help individuals who really want to make an impact in their lives and their community lives as well. And so find something that really sort of like sinks in with you. Usually this sense of purpose and meaning is a service that is above just you as a person. Usually this meaning and sense of purpose is based on your values. Values being things that you deem as important, helping you make decisions in life that move you towards your northern star, so to speak. And so ways in which you can increase your sense of meaning and purpose is number one, identify clearly what your core values are in life. The second thing is to get involved in organizations such as charities or companies that really align to those different values, helping other individuals and creating impact. Number three, focus on developing something that you're passionate about. This could be a business, this could be a charitable endeavor, this could be developing a specific skill. Really become engrossed in that space. The next thing is to also help those who you really care about. Whether this is family or friends or group of people, spend some time with those individuals. Really, really important stuff. Especially if you've got kids or older parents or siblings or people you don't necessarily see as much because you are living your life. Another great way to do this is to spend time with the elderly. I remember when I was volunteering for a neurodisability hospital, and I used to frequently go and visit different people who had neurodisability disorders. Some of them could not communicate at all. Some of them couldn't commit daily acts of living. And part of me did feel sorry for them in many different ways. However, it gave me a new perspective on life and it allowed me to understand that I truly need to be grateful for what I have. Now, of course, there are certain things they're not able to commit to or do, but it doesn't make them any less human. And so it gave me a deeper sense of meaning in life. The next factor is accomplishments. Really, this is mastery. Now, this is where I come in. This is really focusing on creating a life that enables you to look back and be really proud of. This means that you understand that you are more than your situation and there are certain goals that you're going to achieve. It's having that vigor and that fight to understand, yes, I'm going to achieve this thing. And so with that in mind, really it comes down to being clear about what it is that you want, using things like pure, clear and smarter goals. It's also about making sure that you look at past successes. So look at the challenges and the wins. It's also finding creative ways to celebrate achievements. My friend said this to me back in the day, many years ago, Mike, you need to find more ways to celebrate your achievements, your small wins. So I started to write down what my wins were and I'd reflect back on these things. And where possible, I would actually meet up with my friends, talk about this stuff and celebrate the wins that we achieved. Again, if you know me and the friends that I keep, we're always talking about success and how we're learning from our failures and how we're moving forward. Now, there is this thing known as PERMA plus, and essentially the plus part really talks to other factors that contribute to well-being, such as physical health, optimism, sleep and nutrition. So you can factor these things when you're using this model. Now, again, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, I'm running an event called Take Back Control, which talks about the 7 lessons that I've learned to improve my state of well-being. But it speaks about different areas such as my emotional mastery, my financial mastery, and my mental mastery as well. So again, whether you're a working professional or a business leader or a self-starter, and this sounds interesting to you, then make sure you check out my event on Eventbrite and be a part of the experience of this event. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.